Basic sewing machine repairs. Most sewing machines are very sturdy and simply need to be tweaked or properly cleaned to have them working properly again. Majority of the sewing issues are easy to fix, and one can avoid these sewing problems in future by ensuring that the machine is set up in the right way and undergoes a scheduled maintenance. In this session, we will see some of the common issues that occur while working on a sewing machine and the steps to be taken to fix these issues. At the end of the session, you will be able to identify common issues in a sewing machine, repair common issues in a sewing machine. Before we start the repair, let's take a look at the tools required for repairing a sewing machine. We will need scissors, sewing machine oil, a large screwdriver, a small screwdriver, and sewing machine needle. Now let's see some of the issues that you may encounter while using a sewing machine and the steps to be taken to rectify the same. One problem that you may encounter while stitching are loose stitches. This may happen continuously or may be occasional, thus making the stitches inconsistent. As you can see here, the main reason for this was that the thread had not been properly inserted around the needle thread tension. We will fix this issue by placing the thread in the correct position around the needle thread tension. We will now check to see if the problem has been fixed. The stitches are consistent now. Another common problem that you may come across is getting tangled thread after making the first few stitches with the sewing machine. The main cause for this may be that the thread in the bobbin case is not in the slot. We will solve this problem by sliding the machine and checking the bobbin case. We will place the thread in the correct slot as shown. Make sure that the under thread is drawn out. Now place the bobbin case in the correct position. Another important issue that you may face while using the sewing machine is that of skipped stitch. The main reason for this may be that the needle has been set towards the wrong side. The remedy for this problem is to fix the needle in the correct position. For this, we will loosen the needle with a screwdriver. Now place it in the correct position and tighten it. To check if our problem has been fixed, we will make a few stitches. While sewing in a sewing machine, you may also encounter the problem of tangled thread on the lower side of the fabric. The main reason for this is that the tension on the thread is too high. To fix the issue, loosen the thread tension to make it more relaxed. Now let's check if our issue has been fixed by making a few stitches. Sometimes, while sewing on a sewing machine, the fabric may not feed correctly. The reason behind this is that the bobbin case is not in the correct position or the foot presser was incorrectly set. We will correct this issue by placing the bobbin case in the correct position and lower down the foot presser to correct position. Another frequent issue that you may face while using a sewing machine is that of breaking of the needle. The reason for this is the use of the incorrect size of needle for the thread and fabric. Another reason for this could be that the needle position is not correct. We will fix this issue by replacing the needle with an appropriate needle to match the fabric and correct the position of the needle. Now, let's check to see if our problem has been fixed. Sometimes while using the sewing machine, you may feel that it is running heavily. It could be due to lack of oil in your machine. This issue can be resolved if you oil the machine periodically. Lubricate the holes in the machine and the feed dog with 1 or 2 drops of sewing machine oil. Sliding the machine, oil the inner movable parts including in and around the bobbin case. Also oil the parts of the wheel and the brace bolt. Due to continuous wear and tear, sometimes the belt of your sewing machine may break. Instead of replacing it with a new belt, you can also make an alternative belt with cloth to replace it. Now let's see how to make a belt with cloth. For this, we will take a 3-inch wide cloth. Then cut the cloth to the exact length as the broken belt. Fold both the long edges to the center of the fabric piece for the whole length of it. Now fold the whole length of the cloth again in half. Stitch along the whole length of the cloth. Now tie one end of the strip to the spool pin and twirl the other end as shown. Now untie the knot tied to the machine. Remove the broken belt from the flywheel. Now insert one end of the strip through one hole of the machine bed and wind it around the pitman bar as shown, and then bring it out through the other hole. Now stitch both the ends of the strip together. We will now fix the strip to the flywheel. We have replaced the broken belt of the sewing machine. In this session, we have seen some of the common issues that occur while working on a sewing machine and the steps to be taken to fix them. Before we conclude, let's take a look at the key points. The problem of loose stitches can be fixed by placing the thread in the correct position around the needle thread tension. If you come across the problem of tangled thread after making a few stitches, check the bobbin case to see if it is being placed in the right slot and the under thread is drawn out. The issue of skipped stitches can be fixed by correcting the needle position. For the issue of tangled thread on the lower side of the fabric, loosen the thread tension to make it more relaxed. If while sewing, the fabric does not feed correctly, then check if the bobbin has been placed properly and lower down the foot presser to the correct position. For the issue of frequent breaking of needle, replace the needle with an appropriate one and correct the position of the needle. If your sewing machine runs heavily, lubricate all the holes, the feed dog, parts of the wheel and the brace bolt of the machine. If the belt of your sewing machine has broken, then you may replace it with an alternative belt made of cloth. With that, we have come to the end of the session.